In this demonstration, we're going to set up certificate auto-enrollment. Certificate auto-enrollment is a newer feature, and you need to know what has to be in place for this to function successfully. First of all, we need a Windows 2003 domain controller. It doesn't have to be all 2003, but at least one 2003 domain controller. Also, we have to have a 2003 CA that's running on Enterprise Edition of Windows Server 2003. This CA does not have to be on a domain controller, but a 2003 domain controller must be available. The reason is the schema has to be updated with the new version 2 templates. So let's take a look at our setup here. We've got three computers. Computer 1 is our root CA. It's our standalone root CA, so that's not going to help us with auto-enrollment. Computer 2 was an Enterprise CA. However, it's running on Standard Edition of 2003, so it also cannot help us with auto-enrollment. And then Computer 3 here is our Enterprise Subordinate CA. That is running on Enterprise Edition. So this is where we're going to do all our configuration for auto-enrollment. So for auto-enrollment, we're just going to jump right into it. First of all, you select which certificate template you would like to set up for auto-enrollment. Now in the CA console here on the right-hand side, these are all the templates that the CA will currently issue. And let's say we want to auto-enroll a couple users for EFS recovery. But let's say we'd like to customize the template. So what we can do is remove this so that we're not deploying this through our CA. Then we can go to certificate templates, the full list, the snap-in, the certificate template snap-in. So in the full list, we have EFS Recovery Agent. Now that's a version 1 template. We cannot use that for auto-enrollment, but what we can do is right-click and duplicate the template, thereby making it a version 2, and we can customize this. So we'll call this auto-enrollment test for an EFS Recovery Agent certificate. So as far as a certificate template goes, we can customize all the information here. So we'll go ahead and publish the information in Active Directory. Everything else will pretty much just be the same. Let's double check. Now, the security tab is crucial here. We need to select which user or group of users we would like to be able to auto-enroll for this particular template. So what I'm going to do is add in a user called Bob. And Bob's user account that I've created for this purpose, Bob will have the ability to auto-enroll for this certificate template. Now, if you want a user to auto-enroll, you don't just check the last checkbox. They must have read, enroll, and auto-enroll for this to function properly. So Bob gets all three permissions, so therefore he'll be able to auto-enroll for this certificate template. We'll click OK, and this will create the version 2 template. There's our auto-enrollment test, EFS Recovery Agent. Notice the icon is in color, therefore it's version 2. Also, the minimum CA required is Windows 2003 Enterprise Edition. The 3 digits here also signifies that it's a version 2 template. Auto-enrollment column, auto-enrollment is allowed. Back to our CA, we'll right-click Certificate Templates and choose a new certificate template to issue from the CA. And of course, we'll choose our auto-enrollment test. Okay, now the other phase of auto-enrollment is to enable group policy with auto-enrollment selections. So open up Active Directory. And in Active Directory Users on Computers, I have set up a test OU. The test OU has Bob's user account and Computer 2. And for the test OU, we'll go to Properties, and we will look at the group policy for the test OU. So I set up a test GPO, and let's edit that and modify that. Now in the test GPO, under both Windows settings for both the user and computer half, we have security settings. So computer half, security settings, public key policies, and user half, security settings, public key policies. So you may notice if you click on public key policies, on the right-hand side we have auto-enrollment settings. We have that for both the computer half and for the user half, auto-enrollment settings. In this case, we would like Bob, a user, to receive the auto-enrollment certificate for EFS recovery. So for the user half here, public key policies, auto-enrollment, we'll double-click that, and we'll allow the setting to enroll certificates automatically, renew and update certificates, and update ones that use certificate templates. So basically, we're just allowing auto-enrollment. Now that's it. So the next time Bob logs on, he should get the certificate. Before we test that out, I'd like to demonstrate what you could have done previously before auto-enrollment was available to you. So on the computer half, public key policies, we have automatic certificate request settings. So you did have some possibilities before auto-enrollment technology to have computers automatically request certificates. Notice this is only on the computer half of a group policy. The user half just has really public key policies. So on the computer half, we can allow computers to automatically request certain certificate types. Let's set this up as well, so we'll do two tests simultaneously. We've already set up Bob to auto-enroll for an EFS recovery certificate. At the same time, we'll go to the computer half, and we'll set up an automatic request for the computer. So we get a wizard. We are very limited as far as how many templates we have to choose from. So this is why auto-enrollment is a wonderful new technology with 2003. If you remember the list of certificate templates, there are many, many, many types of templates you can deploy through auto-enrollment, or even just normal enrollment. But with an automatic request here, we've only got 4 choices. Let's do an IPsec test. So we'll have the computer half of our group policy here set up an automatic request for IPsec certificates. And that's it. So on the computer half, we have an automatic request set up to automatically request an IPsec certificate. Since we have enterprise CAs, that request will be approved automatically, and the computer should get an IPsec certificate. The computer half, we have IPsec. The user half, we have auto-enrollment for the EFS recovery agent. No save button for group policy, just close it out. And there you go. That GPO is linked to the test OU where we have Bob and computer 2. So to test this out, we're going to have Bob log on to computer 2 and then verify if the certificates were enrolled. So on computer 2 here, what we're going to do is just reboot the computer. And upon reboot, that would refresh the group policy for the computer half and the user half. We could run GP update force, but just for a clean example here, I'd like to reboot. Okay, so we're going to log on to computer 2 as Bob. So what we need to do now is look at the certificates installed for Bob's user account and for computer 2. I went ahead and created a Microsoft Management Console called Bob Certs. This includes the certificate snap-in twice, one pointed towards Bob's user account, one pointed towards the computer 2 local computer account. So looking in the current user certificate snap-in under personal certificates, we see we have a certificate issued to Bob. Now, I never logged on as Bob to request this, and scrolling to the right, intended purposes, file recovery. Ooh, we're on the right track here. And the certificate template name is last. It's kind of buried back here. And there it is. There's our auto-enrollment test. So all Bob had to do was log on to get his certificate template here for the purpose of file recovery. That is, he's an EFS recovery agent. And on the computer half, the certificate snap and pointed towards the local computer. For the computer certificate store, we have a certificate here. One is Enterprise Subordinate CA, so we have a CA certificate for this computer, because it is a CA, but we also have another certificate here, which is a little big. Let's scroll to the right. There we go. There's our IPsec certificate. So to sum up then, you can use group policy to set up an automatic certificate request And you could do that in Windows 2000, but it's very limited. And IPsec is about the only good or normal choice for that. And then with auto enrollment, a new feature in 2003 CAs, we can deploy out many, many types of certificates with the auto enrollment feature.